Getting a divorce in South Carolina is actually simpler than you might think. The divorcing spouse must be a resident of South Carolina for at least 1 year, unless both spouses are residents. Otherwise, the residency requirement is for 3 months. A 90-day delay is required from filing to the final decree of divorce. The divorce may be filed for in the county where the defendant resides, the county where the plaintiff resides if the defendant does not live in South Carolina or cannot be found, or the county where the spouses last lived together if both still live in South Carolina. Once the residency requirement is completed, a legal grounds for a divorce must be established. Both general and no-fault divorce are acceptable grounds for divorce. The no-fault reason is living separate and apart without cohabitation for 1 year. The general reasons for divorce are adultery, alcoholism and/or drug addiction, physical cruelty, and willful desertion for 1 year. South Carolina does not require a parenting plan for child custody. Child custody is awarded on the circumstances of the spouses, the nature of the case, the religious faith of the parents and child, the welfare of the child, and the best spiritual and other interests of the child. Both parents have equal rights in awarding child custody. Both parents have joint responsibility for child support. The court may withhold income to guarantee child support payments. Official child support guidelines are presumed correct unless one of the following requires deviation from the amount: educational expenses for the child or a spouse, the equitable distribution of property, any consumer debts, if the family has more than 6 children, unreimbursed extraordinary medical or dental expenses of either parent, mandatory retirement deductions of either parent, support obligations for other dependents, unreimbursed extraordinary medical or dental expenses of the child, other court-ordered payments, any available income of the child, a substantial disparity in the income of the parents which makes it impractical for the non-custodial parent to pay the guideline amount, the effect of alimony on the circumstances, and any agreements between the spouses if in the best interests of the child. South Carolina is an equitable distribution state. Each spouse is entitled to keep his or her property, constituting which was acquired prior to marriage, acquired by gift or inheritance, acquired in exchange for non-marital property, or was acquired due to an increase in the value of any non-marital property. All other property acquired is subject to division based on the duration of the marriage, the age of the spouses, any marital misconduct, any economic misconduct, the value of the marital property, the contribution of each spouse to the acquisition of the marital property, including contribution of each spouse as homemaker, the income of each spouse, the earning potential of each spouse, and the opportunity for the future acquisition of capital assets, the physical and emotional health of each spouse, the needs of each spouse for additional training or education in order to achieve his or her earning potential, the non-marital property of each spouse, any retirement benefits, whether alimony has been awarded, the desirability of awarding the family home to the spouse having custody of any children, the tax consequences, any other support obligations of either spouse, any marital debts of the spouses, any child custody arrangements, and any other relevant factors. Either spouse may be awarded alimony. The factors for consideration are the duration of the marriage and the ages of the spouses when married and when divorced, the physical and emotional conditions of the spouses, the educational background of each spouse and the need of additional training or education to reach the spouse's income potential, the employment history and earning capacity of each spouse, the standard of living during the marriage, the current and expected earnings of each spouse, the marital and separate property of each spouse, the custody of any children and its effect on the ability of the custodial spouse to work full-time, any marital misconduct, any tax consequences, any prior support obligations, the current and expected expenses and needs of both spouses, and any other relevant factors. The court may require posting bond as security for alimony payments and may require a spouse to carry life insurance naming the other spouse as beneficiary. The court may refer the spouses to a referee who must try to reconcile the matters between the spouses. No divorce may be granted unless certified by the judge or referee that reconciliation failed. No final decree is granted until 3 months after filing for divorce. Visit us today at www.mydivorcepapers.com and click on South Carolina at the bottom of the page. Let mydivorcepapers.com help you file for divorce today.